Hey there folks, so in this video I've gone back to my side-scroller character where I've been playing around with this widow character just a little bit, and you can see obviously I've got the different animations and things there for the attacking and shooting, but one of the things I thought about is what about if I wanted to make this character run? Now with a 3D character, what we just do is we just blend between a whole bunch of different animations. And I could do that here. I could say, okay, well, have I got a walking animation, a running animation? And I could just use different states. So in my animation blueprint, I could say, okay, well, if I'm in this kind of widow character and I'm looking at these different states here, so maybe my kind of locomotion option here, maybe if I'm over a certain speed, I go into a run state. But that doesn't really help me necessarily if maybe my character doesn't have that, or maybe I don't have that character sprite sheet. So how would I go about making my character try to match up with this a little bit more? What about if I wanted to add a button to press or hold down to make my character sprint? Or if this was going to be reused as an enemy, so this the boss here, I like to debug and test with them as a playable pawn, so it's easier for me to control the inputs. What about if I wanted to have a state that the character can go into where they move much quicker? Yeah, so let's have a look at what happens if we do make this widow move much quicker. Now, how are we going to do that? Easy peasy, character movement component. We're going to go down here. You can see max walk speed right now is 150. So let's say that I want him to move twice as quick. I want him to move at 300. Press play, and you can see he's now walking a little bit quicker. Not massively quicker, so let's just test that out. I like to have a really high value, so maybe 600. Test this out, and let's see what 600 looks like. Yeah, so now much quicker, but is his legs, or are his legs moving at an appropriate speed? Maybe I need to make him animate quicker to show the fact that there is a difference in his movement. Yeah, if I wanted to go really extreme, let's go with 1200 on this, just so I can really show you the difference between what we started with, because this is nearly 10 times quicker. You can see that obviously he's got that acceleration that speeds him up over time. I probably want to cut that out, but you can see that he ends up moving and he's just sliding across the floor. So let's come into here and start thinking about how we can actually edit this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a sprint input for my character. So in this widow demo, I'm going to add in the sprint input. I already have an input action that I've set up here. So you can see I have an input action of sprint. It is a digital ball. And I'm going to add that into my side scroller character here and just say, well, what if they wanted to sprint? How would I go about doing that? I want them to move quickly. So let's add in a new action. Let's tell it to use our sprint. And I'm going to use this one as a, rather than, I could leave it as down. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll leave it as down with maybe the left shift, and I'm just, rather than going to have it triggering every frame, I'm just going to use the start and the end of that to control my logic. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's go back into our widow and let's add in a sprint event. And if we think about triggered, if I've left it as default, then triggered is going to fire every single frame. So let's just test that out just to show you what I mean. I put sprint into here and press play, and I hold down that left shift. You can see every single frame, it's going to keep on printing. Now, I don't really need to tell my character every single frame you are sprinting. So what I really want to do is just say, when should I start sprinting and when should I end the sprinting? And that, we don't necessarily need to do a different version for this. What we can do is we can use the other input and output actions that we have. So started will fire once right at the start, and cancelled and completed will fire when we stop this. Now, complete is the one that's going to fire here with our down, but just keep in mind cancel can be useful if you're using something that's like holding and you release it before it gets to that point. So you can see now if I press shift, sprint start, I'm still holding the key down, and when I release it, sprint end. So that's going to be more appropriate for our sprinting. And what do we want to do with this? Well, let's take our character movement component and let's set our movement speed. And we're looking for our max walk speed on this one. I'm going to duplicate this and we'll plug it into here. And we're going to have basically two options. Now, right now, I've got this set to 600 and probably I want to have it as the lovely slow little version as my default. But in the future, I would recommend you come into here and make these like into variables, so you can have your default walk speed, your default run speed, so they're easy to test, or even put them in data assets so every character can be more easily defined. But for now, I'll do the sprint start, set the walk speed to 600, and this one, the walk speed will be 150. So when we release the key, it goes back. Now this is again where our character movement, maybe we want to have a bit more kind of control over the acceleration. This acceleration is not really massive on this character, so maybe I need to have them kind of accelerating and decelerating much quicker. Again, this is completely up to you on this one. Do you want them to move up to that speed straight away, or do you want them to obviously speed up to it and accelerate over time? So this guy's walking, and then he moves much quicker when I hold down shift. And then when I release it, he goes back to his normal. But you can see he's still got that little bit of a glide. So how would we go about doing that? Now, we can't really go to another animation. I don't have another animation. I've only got the walking one. So really what I want to do here is I want to say, well, what about if I changed the walking animation of this widow? So you can see this walk animation here. What about if I got that walk flipbook and I made it play quicker? I made it play at a much higher play rate. Rather than targeting the frames per second of the actual file itself, one of the things that we should note is that when this is running inside of the ZD kind of animation blueprint here, so let's go find our walk, that's our walk animation that's playing, you can see that there is a play rate. And that play rate set to 1. So 1 multiplied by our normal frame rate of that animation is going to mean that this is going to play at 12 frames per second based on what I've set up in that flipbook. But if I made this a higher value, well, that's going to allow me to then target this and make my character move much quicker. So how would we go about doing that? Well, what we're going to need to do is in our widow, so in my blueprint here for my character, I'm going to find my begin play. And one of the things I've already kind of set up and done for you here is just getting a reference to that anim instance. Now what I'm doing is on begin play, I am getting my animation component and I'm getting the animation instance, and I am then casting to say, is it of the type animation blueprint, in which case I'm saving that as my animation instance. Now the reason for that is because it takes it from being this animation component anim instance, which is the generic PaperZD anim instance object reference, and I convert it to instead be a reference to my widow object reference. So I'm basically making this a very specific type. Now you don't necessarily have to do it this way. I've done it just so I can show you that you can use a cast once on begin play and get a reference to that. So now I can target things that happen in here. But if this is logic that you want to keep on using on lots of characters, this would be a perfect opportunity for an interface. So I could use this to pass a message and say, okay, let's pass a message to make this sprint. So I'll show you both of the options. That's going to be the best way of doing this. If we go here then, we've got this anim instance here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to use this one that I've saved to set the play rate. So we can set sprint play rate. Now that sprint play rate, what you'll find is that I've actually set that up inside of the animation blueprint already. So let me go show you that. Okay, so I'm inside of the animation blueprint for the widow, and one of the things you'll see is there's all the normal logic for making me know whether he's moving in a direction, the speed he's moving at is falling. But you'll also see that I created a variable called sprint play rate, and this is literally just a variable that I've created here. And the reason for that is because now I can target and edit this from in here. Now this is not really the best way of doing this, because obviously in this instance what we're doing is we're targeting and changing a variable from outside of the thing where it is. So I don't really want to be doing this a tremendous amount. That's why the next example with the interfaces is going to be a better one for it. But for now, let's take this and let's go to our sprint logic that we were just setting up inside of this lovely little widow spider over here. So you can see when we're sprinting, we're setting his walk speed to this, but we can also set his play rate of his animation blueprint to a different speed as well. Now I need to make sure that when I set it to walk, it has to go back down to 1. But I can play around with this one and actually target this with a specific sprint play rate value that maybe is defined in my character. So when I walk, it's going to set this. Now all that's doing is targeting this animation blueprint and making this variable here go from 1 to 2. There's nowhere where I've actually defined this and used it. I don't need to get it from here every single frame and use it. I'm just passing it over to here and saying you were 1, now you're 2. But what we can do is we can go into our animation graph, we can find our walk, and this walk animation here, what you'll see is we have the play rate, which is the number, but we can actually tick this here to expose it. And what this will do is it'll actually expose and make this value here a pin on the insert in the input of it. So here, if I leave this at 1 as default and plug it in, now it's going to always use the 1 value. But if I pass a message to this saying, oh, by the way, you now equal 2, that's going to mean that now my character is going to actually animate twice as quick when they're sprinting. So there's the normal walk, and when we sprint, it's got this lovely little speedy walk to him. And all that is doing is just taking the animation that's already there and just speeding it up. So that's okay, but it's not the most optimized. And honestly, I don't like the fact that I'm having to cast and do this because it's not really modular to keep on reusing. So let's use our interfaces. Let's use our interfaces to make this more modular, more reusable. So with this blueprint actions option here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our interface and I'm going to add a new function. And this one will be our sprint effect. Now this sprint effect here, I'm going to add in a Boolean option and we'll just say is sprinting. And I can just basically tell this with true or false, is this sprinting, yes or no? So let's go back to our character now. And our character, we're not implementing the event in the character. I don't need to do it here. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up here to where I'm doing all of this casting stuff and I can get rid of that. I don't need it anymore because this, with the interface event, remember this is sending the message to the receiver. So this now allows me to get that animation component, that anim instance, drag it down here, and we can use our I_sprint effect to pass a message to this anim instance to tell it that it is sprinting or it's not sprinting. So let's have 2 of these because we're going to have a yes and a no. And make sure we get a target plugged in on both of them. We're going to get rid of these ones here where we're changing the play rate. And we could have it true or false, but we could also, this is a more advanced version of it, rather than having true or false, you could pass through a float and you could tell it what the play rate needs to be, so you could have more control over the specific play rate you're feeding in. But for now, I'm just going to do it with a true or false, and let's just go into here, and now we're passing a message to this. Now, obviously this isn't going to do anything. And the reason it's not going to do anything is because it's passing a sprint effect message through the interface to this animation blueprint. Well, my animation blueprint doesn't implement this interface, so it doesn't do anything. So let's go back to our animation blueprint, go to class settings, and you'll see, just like we can with our character, we can add interfaces in here to allow us to communicate with this. So I add this in, I've now got an interfaces section, and I could use this to do my primary, secondary, dodge kind of effect elements as well, but I really only want to use it just right now for this sprint effect. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just say, let's set the play rate. And how am I going to do that? Well, let's do it nice and easy. We're using a Boolean, so let's just use this to say, if we are sprinting, if it's true, it's going to pick A. And if we're not, it's going to pick B. So 2 and 1, and that will work just the same as what we've already been doing, except that now I don't need to do the cast up here on begin play anymore because I'm using the interface event to allow me to communicate. So let's go and test and see how that works. Okay, so I'm in here now with this character and you can see he moves normally, so I haven't broken anything there. But if I hold down shift, exactly the same logic. But now I'm not having to go and work out why is he going quicker or slower from inside of the character. I can just go into this animation blueprint and just say, well, when he's being told to run, this is the logic that controls that. And I can even promote these to my default sprint speed and my default walk speed, maybe even setting them from here. We could even get values from this widow, maybe when we start up, and just say, what are your kind of data for your starting speed or your minimum, your default speed. So there's lots of options here, but this is a useful one. Not necessarily just for sprinting, but anytime that maybe just for a period of time you need to speed up your character. So think about it, maybe in the last one where we were using our animation states, our animation notify states, Maybe we want to use it to communicate a message with the animation notify state to make our character move much slower. Yeah, we could use this for all different things, but speeding up, slowing down the animation can be a kind of hacky workaround a little bit to getting us to have extra animations and extra kind of controls over the speed of our animations without necessarily having to have idle, walk, jog, run, sprint, and so on, all as different animations themselves. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.